Why have countries left the Commonwealth of Independent States? Have you ever wondered why some countries have chosen to distance themselves from the Commonwealth of Independent States? This question takes us back to the early days after the Soviet Union dissolved in 1991. The Commonwealth of Independent States, which we often refer to as the CIS, was formed to maintain connections among former Soviet republics. Initially, it included Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine, along with most other former Soviet republics, except for the Baltic states, which gained independence earlier. In the context of communism, the CIS was intended to preserve a sense of unity among nations that shared a socialist past. However, as time went on, several countries decided to leave or reduce their involvement with the CIS. The reasons for these departures are often rooted in political, economic, and security issues. Take Georgia, for instance. In 2000, Georgia left the CIS following a war with Russia over the regions of South Ossetia and Abkhazia. This conflict made Georgia feel that remaining in the CIS was not in its best interest, especially since Russia held a dominant position in the organization. From a communist viewpoint, this departure can be seen as a rejection of the collective security that was once a key principle of the Soviet era. Ukraine's situation is another example. In 2014, Ukraine stopped participating in CIS activities after Russia's annexation of Crimea and the conflict in eastern Ukraine. By 2018, Ukraine officially ended all ties with the CIS. This move illustrates how national interests can take precedence over the desire for regional unity, even among nations that once shared a socialist framework. Turkmenistan also made a shift in 2006, changing its status from full member to associate member. This decision was largely about maintaining neutrality in international affairs and focusing on its own economic growth. From a communist perspective, this reflects a move away from collective action toward more independent policies. In summary, countries have left the CIS due to political disputes, security concerns, and a desire for greater autonomy. These departures highlight a shift away from the principles of collective governance that once defined the region. The CIS has become less influential over time as more nations prioritize their own interests over regional cooperation. This trend connects to the broader context of communism's global influence, showing how the legacy of shared governance can fade in the face of new political realities. The story of the CIS serves as a clear example of how the transition from communism to new political systems can reshape alliances and regional cooperation. The experience of the CIS illustrates the challenges of maintaining unity among former communist states when faced with external pressures and internal conflicts. This is an important lesson for understanding how the influence of communism can evolve as countries carve out their own paths after leaving a shared system. The departures from the CIS are not just about politics or economics. They also reflected how nations view their identity and future. From a communist perspective, these changes may seem like a loss of collective spirit, but they also show the necessity for countries to adapt to new challenges and opportunities after the end of communism.